Okay, so what we have here is a nice guitar of one of my students, and the output jack is intermittent and then pretty much just failed at his last lesson. So, taking a look at it, it's definitely been kind of jury-rigged together, but kind of ingenious. So, as you can see, if you can see, that's pretty loose there. So we're going to take this off, tighten it all up, and check all the solder joints in there, and hopefully get it up and running again. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so as far as tools go, we have a screwdriver, and we have the proper sized little socket wrench there. So first we're going to take off the output jack there. I could get it by hand from this point. That and this. Okay. So yes, there's absolutely a wire that broke off. So we can fix it. But first, we need to tighten this up here. So, it looks like it only fits at that end. Okay, so the trick is to hold the back end of this here and tighten it. Because obviously, if you're just spinning this, the back's just going to spin, spin, spin. Move the solder, because we'll definitely need that. Okay, so that is about as tight as we're going to get it. So now on to soldering this back into place. Okay, so this did not leave us a lot of slack here. This is as far as I can pull it out. So what we need to do is get rid of some of this insulation, and don't do this because if it slips, the X-Acto knife will cut your finger. So you don't want to do that. I'm a trained idiot. There we go. So what I kind of do is just cut a little bit, roll it, cut a little bit, roll it, and then you can kind of pull it when you've cut enough through, and you can feel, if you're careful, you can feel it hitting the metal, the wires. So then you don't want to keep cutting, obviously. So just through the insulation, and then you can pull it and it pretty much just pops right off. Okay, so that's what we have. I like to twist them a little bit just to keep all the strands together. So now we just have to solder it right back to there. And underneath the solder, there's a little hole in the tab, and it looks like there's plenty of solder here. So I'm just going to heat up the solder, stick that through the little hole that's in the middle there, and then let the solder cool right around it. And of course, although I'm not always safe, I have learned to keep the soldering iron far away. It's over here on a separate table, and I come in and out of this little working area on this side here, so I don't go anywhere near it, don't trip on the cord or anything. So anyway, let's solder this up. So we just heat up the solder a bit. Tweezers would work better in such a tight space. Let's get a better view. There we go. I don't know if you'll even be able to really see it much. Yeah, my fingers are probably in the way. But you know what? You should know how to solder anyway. You don't need me. Okay, and then I just make sure that I heat it enough so that the solder really wicks right along the stranded wire, because you have to actually heat up the wire so that the solder melts right onto the wire. So that should be all set. We'll let it cool for, a minute or so. More than enough time, but anyway, we'll button it all up and check it out. I put the screws back in, and it's all in there. It's nice and tight. I plugged it in, and it works great. So, hope this helped.